And it just says, I hate myself today. That's the subject line.
Yeah.
It's like, great. All right. Just guess I got to read this.
Oh,
you know?
my God.
I got to read. What was not so good this past week was when is it right if I mention it?
I want you to talk about it. Tell me.
Was when I don't know what I was looking for. I was looking for like a specific email, like looking for some kind of email or something. So I was looking for it and trying to filter out like everything in 2019 that I wrote and just trying to find a specific email. And then all of a sudden I came across this one email just titled, and it's from myself. So I wrote this to myself.
And sent it to yourself.
About 2 years ago and sent it to myself. And it just says, I hate myself today. That's the subject line.
Yeah.
It's like, great. All right. Just guess I got to read this.
Oh,
you know?
my God.
I got to read
What
this.
is your first reaction right when your eyes land on this?
Well, when I read it, right when my eyes land on this, I was like,
You had no idea.
I didn't even remember writing this.
Okay.
I don't remember writing it. It was 2 years ago, September 5th, 2019. And that's the date of it. And I was like, oh man. So I just realized, like, oh my gosh, I'm reading this and it's just really was a dark time in my life. It must have been when I was super, super depressed. And so it's just me writing like, I don't like myself today, or I hate myself, and writing these things of like, you know, I'm not good enough. I'm so sorry that I can't be stronger. Like, you know, apologizing to my parents, to my sisters. Like, I'm so tired of being stupid and lazy and crazy and depressed and all this stuff. And it was just like this long.
How many paragraphs?
It was just almost like felt like not like a poem, but like it was just like a long. It's like one pager, you know, but it was just like a one after another, just like blah 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 blah, like just writing. It must have been like just a free flowing moment of me just typing this to myself.
Got it. So it's not in like a
paragraph
form. It's just
a
lines.
Sentence, a line, one line after one line after one line. And so it's like, yeah, it's just me describing like how I felt about myself and how I just didn't want to go on. It kind of felt like I was reading like a note. Not so much a suicide note, because it said it would be like more. It's like, I mean, it was more like, it almost felt like that, but I know at that moment when I wrote that, I wasn't nowhere near to like commit suicide or anything. But it definitely sounded like someone who definitely in the mindset of like I don't want to live, I want to die, you know, the stuff like that.
Someone like ready to give up.
Yeah, just ready to give up. And so just reading all this, and I'm like, gosh, this is so sad. This is such a sad thing to read about, knowing that this person is me, that I wrote about myself, you know? And it's so harsh the way I looked at myself during that time, treated myself during that time, that I would never want anyone that I loved or care about to say about themselves.
Yeah. You
know, it's just like really, really sad. And so I don't know why, but I just felt the need to share it on TikTok and just share it and just be like, hey, you know, to anyone who's curious about what bipolar is like, especially for me, when I'm in my severe depression, like this is something I wrote 2 years ago.
You tagged it?
I came across it. Yeah, I came across it, and I just want to share it with you all. And for those of you who are sensitive about it, you know, this is like, you know, this is what I wrote. And but for those who are sensitive, like this is a time to skip the video and all that. So I just read what I wrote and clicked share. And I just shared it, not thinking anything of it, just more like, hey, just to remind those, like, this is just a moment that I had. And I'm so glad that I'm out of that moment and know like how far I've come since that moment. But yeah, I just felt the need to share it just to show you guys like how it's like to have that severe depression.
I think that's really brave of you, and I think that's really needed.
Yeah.
that people see that, because for other people, family members or the person going through it themselves, they might be like, oh my God, this is a scary moment, but really, and they might feel like they're going in a way, in a direction where they think they want to give up. But maybe if they see your letter and they're like, okay, she's good now. You said it was just a moment.
It's
it would
just a
probably give
moment.
them the confidence to be like, hey, I'm just write it out.
Exactly. That was my intention for releasing it. It wasn't to like make anyone trigger anybody, but it was just to remind everyone like how far I've come and like how I don't feel like that anymore.
Is it okay if we share your TikTok account on the description?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Totally can share that.
What you want to say it, so for those who are just like, they don't want to look for it, they just want to hear you say it, the account.
Oh, the account. I don't even know the account's name.
Oh, okay.
The account.
We'll just write in the description for sure.
I think it's like D Enster or something like that. But I
think that's it. Yeah, the D Enster. But I'll write it in the description, guys.
But
Check it out.
So it's super dark and super sad, and but
how did you feel after you shared it?
After I shared it, I felt like kind of a sense of release, because it was like, if I kept this to myself and kept this darkness to myself, this dark secret to myself, it's like there's something about it that's like there's a shame and whatever that circles around it. But as soon as I put it on TikTok or just put it publicly out there, like put some light on it, it doesn't have that power over me anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I released it and not thinking anything of it, and next day, I'm not thinking anything of it. A part of me kind of thought about this, but anyways, my mom sees it.
Oh.
My mom sees it.
Oh my gosh.
And she sees.
Oh.
And not only does she see it, she shares it with our family group chat.
Oh no. What happens? I don't know what to think.
So I don't even know what to think at this point. Yeah. I'm out getting a haircut at this point.
Oh my God, that took a turn. Like, I did not expect that.
A part of me knows that my mom follows me on TikTok, but and knew that there's a possibility of her seeing it and I could hide it from her or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, like it is what it is. I need to put it out there.
Yeah.
But she shares it with my family, in our family group chat. And
which family? Is this your Hong Kong family or is it the family here?
Just here, immediate.
Okay.
My sisters, my mom, and my dad.
Okay.
And she shares this. She would never share for our
okay,
family.
I need to get some clarity. Yeah.
That's too
much info.
TMI for the rest of the family. But amongst us, so... And I wrote to my mom. I said, hey, Mom, I just want you to know this was 2 years ago when I felt like this.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this anymore.
Yeah. Was she... scared? Was
she I'm sure she
panicking?
Was. So I wrote to her and I texted her. I said, hey, Mom, I hope you're not worried about me at this point, because I want to remind you that this was I wrote this 2 years ago, and I don't feel like that anymore.
Yeah.
But I did feel like that at a time, and I just wanted to share it just so people have just mental health awareness of what it's like to be bipolar.
That's what an advocate is.
Exactly.
An advocate takes action. And is being vulnerable and showing
you share those
personal things.
You share the
that.
darkness. You share the ups and downs.
Yeah.
And this was definitely one of my downs that I felt the need to share. And of course, my mom, wrote back, and she's like, you know what, I was scared, but I'm glad to know that you don't feel like that anymore. Just let you know, like, we really love you, and we would, if you were to do anything to yourself or you were to be dead, like, we'd be really sad.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm like, yeah, of course, Mom. And, I know that now, but yeah, thank you. Like, just know that I don't feel like that anymore. But yeah, thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Is it easier for you guys to, when it's like a heavier subject like that, is it easier for you guys to text rather than talk in person? Because there's times where, like, between me and my mom, it's a lot easier to text. I don't know. It's because it gives each person a pause. Time to think.
Exactly. I think for something like this, it was definitely easier for my mom at least to text and talk about it. But I wouldn't mind talking about her in person if she felt the need to bring it up in person. But yeah, we just talked it via text, and that was it.
Cool.
And that was it. But yeah, I was like, oh shit. Like, when she found it and she like shared it with
Dang.
like my family, like with my sisters and everyone. I just like
Your
had her.
dad?
Yeah, she sent it directly to my dad, but
Is
my dad doesn't have TikTok, so you
Oh,
have to open the
yeah.
video. In order to open this particular video, you have to have a
Mhm.
TikTok account.
I'm surprised she didn't like take her phone and like,
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised she did. She
okay.
probably did too.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised. But when I got home, like everything was fine. Nobody like was like, we need to sit down and talk with you. Are
Mhm.
you okay? Is everything? I'm
Like
like,
overbearing.
yeah, no. They're just like, okay. Like if this was 2 years ago, this is 2 years
Mhm.
ago, and like they didn't bring it up again. So
Mhm.
they respected my space, and like it was totally fine.
That there is, I was just reading or like listening that yeah, when someone is going through like hardship, trauma or whatever, they said like the thing that heals the most is like a stable home, stable
Mm,
family, just knowing that there's a constant support and
yeah,
loving, foundation, and
totally, totally.
that takes it does a huge thing to heal somebody.
Of course,
Yeah,
just to have
you
the
have that
consistency.
consistency, just knowing that you have a safe space. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, like with my family, with my parents, I mean, they know my struggles and everything, but that was like, that was definitely a taste of like how dark it can get. It can really get.
Mhm.
And so yeah, so my mom saw it, and I was like, woo. But like on the flip side, on the great side of it all, though, it definitely, I think it was viewed over like 1,000 times, which is it's not
Wow.
bad, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's really good. I'm glad that your message,
yeah,
traveled.
yeah.
And it's just
Travel,
the beginning. You just did it like this week, right?
yeah,
So over
yeah,
time, it'll
yeah.
get shared more and more.
Hopefully, but people commented on it,
Mhm.
and people were like, "Hey, I'm really sorry you went through that,"
Mhm.
or some people were like, "Hey, I just got out of depression, and what
Mhm.
you just wrote, I feel like were just like the exact thoughts out of my head," and
Mhm.
so people can relate to it. So
Yeah.
that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
If even if it's just one person that could feel like, "Hey, me
Mhm.
too."
Oh yeah, even if you're right. Like even if it was one other person that you touched
Yeah, and
with
that's
that, that's
enough.
enough.
And
Yeah.
to me, it was just like, all right, that was it. That was my purpose. Was to release it. Was
Mhm.
to not be like, woe is me, like all that. It was more like,
No.
hey, this is how far I've come, and like this is some dark shit, but like,
Mhm.
but I don't feel like that anymore. It was just a moment.
It's hard for people to share that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, totally
You
is.
know?
It's
You're at that just proves that you're in a good place.
I mean,
Can you imagine if you opened that like maybe a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think like you were still kind of like
Yeah, I was still down.
unsure
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
But I feel like you found this email at the right moment in your
Definitely, like
life.
it definitely showed me how far I've come, and
Yeah.
also like how far I need, and how important it is for me to keep going,
Mhm.
and to not stop.
Mhm.
You know, self-reflection, and to
Mhm.
keep going, and to keep on with the momentum of improving myself, and not fall back into old ways, and
Mhm.
hopefully not fall back into that old mindset.
You're kinder to yourself too now.
Yes, yes. When I read what I wrote to myself, that 2 years ago, I was like,
Mhm.
God, it was so sad. I was like, I teared up, reading it, because it was like, this is such a sad thing for someone to feel that way about themselves, and that person is me. So I can't help but think there are still some lingering feelings
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
feeling like I hate myself, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's still lingering there. Like,
I think
but it's not
everyone
as
has
bad.
darkness within themselves. We always
Mhm.
have, the yin and yang. That it's true. Like
Yeah.
the more when we were younger, it was like just a symbol, you know what I mean, that
Yeah.
we saw. But more and more as you live life, you're like, wow, there is another half
Mhm.
to everyone. There's two to everybody.
Yeah.
The dark
Yeah.
and the light.
Totally. Yeah. And that's where I am at, is this, luckily I'm not in that dark mindset again, that really dark mindset
Yeah.
that I was 2 years ago. But
Would that be triggering for you if you read that and not a good when you were still
oh
not in a
yeah,
good
yeah. I would I think it would be it would not be good. Would not be
Mhm.
good to come across that in my more, down moments.
Mhm.
But luckily I'm in a better place, and mentally, and I could read something like that and look at it in a sensitive and very caring way.
Mm-hmm.